It's the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast. Michigan is in the books. The Firekeepers Casino 400. Chris Buescher goes back to back. Insane.
Unreal.
Right. Dale's with me as always. I'm Garage Guy Chase. You know where to follow us and check out all of our content with the Garage Guys. Lots of cool things happening. Announcements. Just want to start off the show by letting everybody know that at the end of the month, the Indycar Oval World Finals, they're going to be at Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois, a.k.a. St. Louis, Missouri. It's literally over the bridge. Now's your time to get tickets for the event and be there. We are selling Garage Guys official tickets to the race, so you can click the link that we have that is set up for us and buy your tickets from our link to get the official Garage Guys tickets. We're doing Garage Talk Live just like we did earlier in the year for the NASCAR Cup Series race that weekend. So we will have some nice surprises for everybody that comes out to St. Louis. So make your way out there and check that out. One of the greatest race tracks, greatest people, greatest time, and it's the last oval race of the IndyCar season. Going to be fun. And let's go ahead. Let's go to Verizon 200 at Indy Road Course. I'm upset that we're not going to be in Indy this weekend. I don't know if you planned on going or not. I know I'm not going to be able to go.
I might be, but I'm not for certain. It's probably a longer shot, but Indy is Indy, man. It's hard to keep me away when there's an opportunity to be there, you know.
I heard you got a new car. I heard you sign with Toyota.
Yeah, just can't go wrong with a Lexus, man. 2018 Lexus ES350. That's the direction we went.
Is that the
I
Avalon?
want something.
The high up Avalon or the high up?
Yeah, it is. It is. We got a really good deal for it too. It's low mileage. It's about 100 times more efficient than what I was driving on fuel. So that's another important thing. As much as I travel around. So yes, her name is Miss Lexus Texas. So
Lexus Texas.
Yeah.
Toyota Tanhardt in the building. I love it.
Yeah, I, as Dale Jr. would say, probably I've joined the dark side. But look, what people don't realize, I'm a Team Chevy guy. I am a Team Chevy guy when it comes to racing. But Toyota, over the past decade-ish, has probably become one of the most American car manufacturers in America. And people just look at the name Toyota and they're like, oh, communist, you know, especially people down here in the South, right? But I understand if you think I've gone to the dark side.
No, it's tough. Like, dude, I don't think anybody from the South can say shit, dude. Tundra is like the official truck of Bass Pro Shop, and every redneck and their mama shop at Bass Pro Shop. So, like, you can't say shit about Toyota anymore.
Is it? I didn't know that. It really is.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm pretty.
I hate the way their Tundras look.
I walked in like a Bass Pro one time. I'm pretty sure they had like a Tundra up there with like, you know, all of the taxidermied animals. It was like a Tundra and like there was like a bear, and I'm pretty sure they were playing like a rock. So like they ripped off the old Chevy commercials for the Tundra. Like that's like the face of America now, dude. Toyotas are bulls.
Yeah. Well, they've always been bulls, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, they have. We coined that. Like I drive Toyota too, so like I feel like you know Team Toyota is really expanding, dude. They're really expanding on their talents. They're doing a great job right now. So. Yeah, let's all give them the shine and the light they deserve. And speaking of Toyota, I think that's a great place to start off with betting this week because the Toyotas have been hot. I feel like they will probably get close to having a bounce back this week. They could easily have a bounce back this week. Tyler Reddick won here last year with RCR. He's opening up right now. Looking on Caesars, he is 5-1 to win this race. He's already won at COTA this year. I think he's 550 over on Barstool Sportsbook, which will be ESPN Sportsbook at some point.
Since crazy
bought it back, and I've honestly been thinking about getting back together with DraftKings. Dale, I've thought about it. I've been looking at some of their odds and stuff lately, and I'm just like, man, it's nice to have an extra book, you know. But Red Dog is at 5 and 5.5 at most of these books. Fanduel hasn't dropped anything yet. He's 6-1 on Bet Rivers, and so I like that.
Yeah, this is a week where we always preach this, and anybody who's formidable at NASCAR betting within this community knows this and probably consistently preaches it as well. scan all your options, scan as many options as you can. But this week in particular, because I think you're going to see some pretty varying lines overall across the board. One guy that sticks out to me, I'll reach, and his lines are probably not super different based on what I'm looking at between Barstool and Caesars. I'll check DraftKings real quick here. Ryan Blaney's been pretty good at this track. Ryan Blaney was really good here last year, was in the top 5, got spun out by Daniel Suarez amidst all the chaos of the final 2 laps. And then he ran second here in 2021, was running top 5 when Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe had their affair. So I think Ryan Blaney at 45-1 via DraftKings or Barstool, you can probably get a 10-1, 12-1 top 3. That seems like a decent bet. It's not something I'm going to say I'm going to lock in right now at this moment, but kind of sticks out to me because you look at the last 2 years, Blaney's been pretty good here overall. So I think last year they used a little bit of strategy to get track position, and it's going to be different this year. But they held it though, right? They held it, and they had some pretty. They were pretty.
Remember, he came in, I think, maybe 4 to 5 laps earlier than the majority of the field, because I remember we were sitting in the media center and we were watching it when he came down. We were like, "Yo, what is he doing?" And then he got back out there, and it kind of leveled out to where he had the lead for a bit, but it didn't take nothing for Tyler to catch him.
I think what they did is they ran a full stage on one set of tires. I think they pitted at the end of stage 1, which this really doesn't matter anymore because we don't have yellow flags during stage breaks, which is phenomenal. So the racing will file out a little bit differently. I still think there's going to be some untimely cautions for some, timely for others, and we're going to see chaos just because of the way this track is designed. With that being said, I just don't think I feel comfortable at all betting these outrights of Reddick. I'm certainly not betting on Truex. Martin Truex has not been great at new road courses. Like these newer road course tracks like Coda, Indy, even Chicago. I know I'm missing something else. What's another new Roval? He did almost win that first Roval, but besides that, Truex has not been great at these newer road courses, and this is the one bet I was going to give before anything else. Only bet I'm going to give out tonight, other than a couple of these leans. But Tyler Reddick plus money in a head-to-head matchup against Truex, I think is crazy. Tyler Reddick won this race last year. He could have won Chicago. He won Coda. Martin Truex Jr., while he's been really hot, a lot of different racetracks. He won Sonoma. He won New Hampshire. Think about, and he won Dover. Think about where Martin Truex thrives and where he doesn't. Richmond, Sonoma, New Hampshire, very typically boring racetracks, quote unquote boring racetracks, right? Like very predictable racetracks. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of chaos. These newer road courses like Roval, Coda, Indy Road, Chicago, throw that in there too. Truex has not had many good finishes. And it's because they're full of chaos. Martin Truex does not thrive in chaotic races. If you really go back, you want to dig into this, and if there's anything that hurts Truex contending to win races, it's fucking chaos. Tyler Reddick has been through the chaos at Coda. He's been through the chaos at this race last year, and he has 2 wins. So I got to take, you're going to give me Tyler Reddick plus money in that matchup? That's crazy. Crazy.
And what book is that on?
You can get plus money on DraftKings, or you can get plus money on Caesars, I believe.
Nice. Okay.
I know I got DraftKings, but I think I saw it plus money somewhere else. And that's a bet that I would bet down to even money. You're going to give me an underdog for Reddick, the guy that won this race last year and has thrived in chaotic situations. Not clutch. We've seen him a lot of self-inflicted mistakes throughout this year. Yes. But you're going to give plus money on that. I think it's crazy when Truex has been awful in chaotic races, especially chaotic road course races. So I really like that bet. Otherwise, I'm going to keep scanning this and see what maybe some other leans come out. But the only one bet that I've locked in and will continue to give until it goes on the opposite side or flips, Tyler Reddick plus money. against Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, I don't mind that one whatsoever. I think that the matchup. I'm really not like a big matchups guy for the most part, but I did like a matchup parlay last week, so I'm thinking about like teetering around a little bit. So I'm going to be on the lookout for some of those as well. The one bet that I'm going to go ahead and take early on, and it's definitely based off of just looking at some statistics, but also I've got this feeling that somebody is going to come in to this race that hasn't won it yet, and it's going to continue to shake some things up as we inch closer, to Daytona and then going into the Southern 500. If there's a guy right now that I want to bet on based off his odds, I think he's 35-1 over on DraftKings, and he's 35-1 on Barstool as well. That's Joey Logano. Joey Logano is going to be, I don't know if he's going to be running the Verizon car, but, usually when he would run a Pennzoil car at Las Vegas, he would get it done. This is totally off topic of track type. This is about sponsor race juju. So if he's running the Verizon car, if he ends up running the Verizon car, which could very well happen, not only would he have that energy, but also he finished sixth here last year. He has he's been wishy-washy on the road courses this year. I know that he finished third at Sonoma, which was our last road course race that we had. So we were on the up. He finished third at Watkins Glen last year, sixth at Indy Road Course. So it's almost like you mentioned Blaney. Penske's probably going to be turning it up right now. And with Roger Penske's presence here at Indianapolis, owning IndyCar, there's a lot that goes into that. He won the championship last year. It was like an all Penske year. This is something that Joey Logano has probably had on his calendar. This is a race I feel like that Joey Logano wants to get just for the trophy case, as far as how everything stacks up and aligns with sponsors and with his boss and this place. Everybody's going to want to win. It's the Cup Series. But for the most part, at 35-1 for a guy that has shown that he can finish close into that top 5 area, a guy that we know is a champion, I think it's pretty nuts. So I want that, and I'm taking that. So I'm giving that all to you, to the people. Joey Logano, 35-1.
Yeah, I don't hate that. He's always kind of sneaky. I think maybe looking at some of these top tens. Talk more on Ryan Blaney plus
We got
140.
top tens. We got
Michael McDowell. I'm looking at Caesars.
Okay.
Both Austin Cindric and Michael McDowell, road course guys, are even money for a top 10. Now
Really?
I'm going to check Bet Rivers as well. You gotta look on the theme of Penske, man. Roger Penske owns this racetrack.
Yes.
I know we're talking all about the ringers with the Kostecki and.
Are you going to bet on any
Van
of these?
Gisbergen?
Do you see yourself betting on like a Shane Van Gisbergen or a Kobayashi or the other guy? What's his name?
Brody Kostecki.
Brody Kostecki.
I think that's how I could be fucking butchering
He's in
that.
the 33. That's my number. Shout out to the 33. I do.
Yeah, and RCR won this race last year, like we talked about. But no, I think, man, Austin Cindric plus 120 for top 10 on Bet Rivers. I like that. I don't know about these guys.
Plus 120 for a top 10 on Caesars.
Logano is plus 135 on Bet Rivers.
Okay, plus 135. There's another bet you can add to the bag. That one's going in.
How about Jenson Button, 6-1 for a top 10?
And
he's priced the same as Austin Dillon. That's kind of crazy.
What equipment?
The 15, the Rick Ware, but Stuart Haas funded. I mean, look, if he hadn't made a mistake at Chicago when he was pitting, I think he would have had a better run. And now that you've given a guy some more experience in a stock car on these road courses, maybe Jenson Button could be a sleeper of a guy for a top 10. I don't hate that, but Kobayashi's like 80-1. I could maybe see myself betting on him. If you want to look up his background, I would just search him. I think his first name is pronounced Kamui Kobayashi. If you watch WEC, you're typically going to see him somewhere towards the front. He's a former 24-hour Le Mans winner, a lot of podiums. He's even scored an F1 podium in the past, back in like 2010, 2011, around that time. So the guy's a very diverse racer, diverse road course racer in several different factions of racing. And He's in a 2311 car. Tyler Reddick's arguably had one of the best road course race cars throughout 2023.
That's huge.
So he's in that 67. That 80-1 might be worth a penny. 80-1 might be worth a penny.
Plus,
And man, I
their
mean,
top 10 is kind of.
but Jenson Button 6-1. Jenson Button 6-1 for a top 10. I mean, this is a guy that I think is gonna run in the top 20. I really think he's gonna run somewhere up in the top 20. So I like Jenson Button at that price for top 10. Other than that, what SVG is sitting at around 12-1,
I believe so.
16-1,
I,
11-1 on Caesars.
a
Let's
lot of
check.
folks are going to probably be looking at that too now. Like you're saying, it's just like now that it's happened, I feel like it could definitely take some attention away. Some people like don't want to miss out on that again, you know? So when I'm looking,
Allmendinger 18-1 on Bet Rivers, man, that seems like a good
oh
bet.
God, all day, dude. If there's one guy that I want to go for as a ringer this time around, like uh, it's just the fact that SVG came in, did what he did, is a street course race. I mean, we saw Kyle Kirkwood win at Nashville this past week. You have street course specialists versus road course guys. This is a road course. There are differences between street courses and road courses, whatever you say. So while I feel like the majority of people that are betting on this casually, they might look at it and just be like, oh, well, he's already won a race like this. So, like, we don't want to miss out. We want to flood up on him. I feel way more confident in the fact of AJ Allmendinger getting something like this done at this track than I probably would with Shane, just
Yeah.
because of the street course value. That's what I've read about him. That's what I've been told about him. It's like when it comes to street courses, watch out for that dude.
Yeah, it is a certainly different type of racetrack, right? Compared to what we ran at Chicago, Chicago is much more he's much more used to or acclimated running tracks similar to what the Chicago layout was. I'm not a big matchup guy either, but I continue to keep lurking and finding more matchups that I like. How about AJ Allmendinger over Kyle Busch at plus money? And let me explain this one. I know Kyle Busch overall has had great results of the road courses in 2023. But let's rewind. Okay, Sonoma, right? Like Sonoma, you see Logano and Kyle Busch and Truex. Those guys always run well at Sonoma, with the exception of last year when Toyota was really, really bad to start the season. Those guys typically run well at Sonoma. Mentioned it earlier, talking about Truex. Sonoma is Sonoma. Circuit of the Americas. Kyle Busch was not a top 3, top 5 guy during that race. If you remember that race, Kyle Busch just did a strategy call, pitted with like 10 to go, and then caught that lucky caution with 2 to go or 3 to go. And then Kyle Busch cycled out to the lead from like 20th place. And that is how he scored. I think he finished second or third, scored a top 5 run at COTA. But he certainly was not a top 5 guy in that race. And then Chicago, that race was kind of fucked because strategy was happening. And then after guys pitted, trying to make a fuel run to the original distance, NASCAR announced they were going to shorten the race. So you screwed over half the field, and then guys like Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Justin Haley were good to go. They were already good to go to make it to the finish. So that helped Kyle Busch get another good run there too, even though I don't think he had a top 5, top 3 car. So when you look at Kyle Busch at the road courses this year, other than Sonoma, circumstances really, really help those guys get finishes, not raw speed. So I like AJ Allmendinger. You're going to give me plus money in that. I know the books are looking heavy at Kyle Busch's road course results in 2023. I'm going to look here at the value that goes with AJ Allmendinger being one of the Pied Pipers at road courses, winner here in 2021. He's one of the best guys, and this is a big moment for AJ too to try to sneak his way into the playoffs. So love AJ plus money over Kyle Busch. And then one more matchup, Caesars. Another guy that's a sneaky good road course racer, kind of all over the place, inconsistent results overall. But Alex Bowman minus 135 to Kevin Harvick. We know what Kevin Harvick is on these newer road courses. Give me Alex Bowman. I will pay that juice on Alex Bowman head-to-head against Kevin Harvick. So, I find myself liking some of these matchups. I wish I could parlay them, but they're on different books. So won't be able to do that unless they're added everywhere. And I'll keep scanning. Everybody scan your matchups. think this could be a good matchup week when if you're scared of the tumultuous style of racing having a big impact, along with the road ringers of these supercars and Formula One and WEC guys. So matchups kind of favorable, I think, on the board.
Yeah, the more I'm looking at them right now, the more I am kind of tempted to do another parlay and then maybe just do some straight up. I'm taking a moment now, like one that I want to go ahead and just say, and this just kind of ties in with my Logano play that I'm giving out at 35-1. They could be pretty comparable because they're on the same team, but Caesars has Logano over Cindric at even money. Um, and I feel like that's just like signs are just pointing like they sleeping on the man. They sleeping on that man. I think that Joey Logano could probably get a better finish here than Austin Cindric any day. It's like Austin Cindric was really good at road courses, like back in the gap. I think he had a decent. Did he have a decent finish at Coda? Did he finish or was he running?
Cindric?
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished like 5th or 6th because I had him for top Ford. So he definitely ran up there.
He was close. Like, yeah, they had the strategy right. Like everything was looking good. I know that one bet. This is pretty hilarious because we don't really know. I'd have to go back and see. I know that back in 2021, William Byron got the pole at this track. He ended up finishing 33rd. He got caught up in an accident. He's actually been caught up in an accident in both of the races, so he's never really run it
2021. Remember, a lot of contenders got swept up when the curb came up.
Yep.
The curb exploded and took out like 11 guys, including Logano, including Byron, and then several other guys. So that was a freak deal that really, because I had Logano top 5 that day, and he ran top 5 the whole day and hit the curb when he was running 4th when it blew up. So
the recency bias is always going to be pointing towards the guy who's been winning races lately, and fortunately for us, that's Chris Buescher. But maybe we should get out of that mindset. Maybe things are different. But
yeah, look, I really don't feel confident on outrights at this point. I think we need to wait. I think still after practice and qualifying, you're going to still be able to find some value on race winners.
It definitely so. I mean, there's always going to be like that luck of the draw, but they've got Byron over Buescher right now, -105 on Caesars. They may have that matchup with some better, more favorable odds on some other books, but I feel like for a guy that's gotten the pole here, it's just really based on the luck that he's had. If he just has a clean race, I feel like Hendrick can bring the shit they need to win to this track. I feel like that could be something that pays off. Maybe we'll see it go into plus money. Who knows how qualifying is going to shake out, but you never know with these matchups, man. Once qualifying happens, they're either going to disappear or they're going to be vastly different. So that's why it's always good to get on them a little bit early, then maybe get on some afterwards. But yeah, there's a lot to look at. There's a lot to take in this week, and this will be a great week to kind of dabble around in some things other than just outrights. I know I'm excited about it, and if you want to be able to see all of the bets that Dale and I have week in and week out, you need to be checking out the Action Network. That is the home of our NASCAR Cup Series bets. The links to our action profiles are all over our social medias. You can follow me at Garage Guy Chase. You follow Dale at Dale Tanhardt everywhere that social media exists through space and time. But I'm probably definitely going to go ahead and log the Logano bet. I'm going to go ahead and hammer that one down. I like it at 35-1. I feel like he'll have a decent qualifying effort. And then we'll not see those odds again.
You know who I think the sneakiest guy in the entire field is?
Who's that?
I think it's Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
I think it is Kyle Larson. If there was a guy going back to, first of all, 2021, Kyle Larson probably had this race won if you don't get a late yellow. Mm-hmm. Kyle Larson was better. Kyle Larson and Elliott, as they were for most of the road course races in 2021, they were the class of the field. Larson was a little bit better, led a lot of laps. That race went to hell. He wasn't able to find the front again. I think he finished in the top 5, but I'll have to go check on that. Looking at 2023, I just think about the Chicago Street Course race. There was a guy running really, really good lap times, carving his way through the field, and it was Kyle Larson. And you know how that race turned out. It turned into chaos. But feel like Larson this year has snuck up and won races that no one will expect him to win. And I think this is a weekend where there's so much going on. There's so many storylines with the playoff bubble, these road ringers, chaos at Indy Road, Tyler Reddick and Martin Truex, aka Toyota superiority. Watch out for Kyle Larson at 11-1. That might be an early play. That might be one small outright early play we go with, and that's where I'll leave this all at. Other bets, other plays, other ideas, including my SRX card, which has been lights out in 2023. Positive. I've picked winners in 4 of the 5 races. Not really much to brag about when you pick Kyle Busch to win, but nonetheless, profit is profit. All that and more on Dale Center on Thursday. Hopefully, I'll have more for you guys on bets when it comes to Cup, Xfinity, and trucks, along with SRX bets. But there's one outright I'm really, really staring at. That's sneaky. Give me Kyle Larson.
I don't mind that one at all. Best driver out there in the world right now. He's just killing it. Won a dirt race, the Ironman 55 this past weekend. He's just out there just stunting on him. Nothing else to say about that there, but yeah, I don't mind that one. Anytime you can get Larson at long odds, it's good. And he's definitely done it before, so why can't he do it again when it comes to being good at these kind of tracks? So we'll have a lot more for you guys. Like Dale said, towards the end of the week on Dale Center, you can find that on Garage Guys NASCAR Podcast YouTube. Be sure to check that out. The brand new episode of the Garage Guys Report just dropped on Tuesday night. It's available now for you to go check out and watch. Kip Richards is back, the return of the notorious man himself, the number 100 Purple Pontiac, Team Pangus, the Team Pangus name. He's returned from Alaska, so go see what he had to say. And other than that, this has been a show. We're on Dale Talk right now, I believe. There's probably a million comments that I can't see. Hello to everyone on Dale Talk. Thank you so much. We've been doing this podcast live late at night over on Dale's TikTok. So for everyone that is here on the TikTok, thanks so much for tuning in and for watching this. And if you ever want to go check out some older episodes, find some of the wild conversations we get into, you already know to hit the subscribe button on Spotify and Apple Podcast for the Garage Guys NASCAR Podcast. We appreciate it every time. Drop a review. Say hi. Just drop a review to say hello. Just say the most craziest stuff you can. Just write it down, whatever it takes. But we appreciate it. Thanks so much. And we will be back on Thursday, Dale Center. See you there. It's the Garage Guys NASCAR Podcast. Yes, and go eat at Hooters for sure. So long.